No, it's sort of ironic because what we all want is sort of like, um, something to like take care of us or something to take care of, and not to have this burden sitting on your shoulders of like, oh, I'm responsible for this and I did this right and I did that wrong. And you'd think that more people would be willing to give up their burden, but it's funny because people, I guess it's a feeling of not being real or something. If you don't have any,
Exactly.
then it's like, who am I if I don't have any burdens?
Exactly.
And that's scary for a lot of people,
Yes. And as far as somebody taking care of you, like Nisargadatta Maharaj says, in the womb, you weren't deciding whether the fingers were going to grow first or the toes were going to grow first, or how long your nose was going to grow, or how the blood vessels would definitely go better going this way up my head than they do spidered out. You weren't doing any of that. Everything was formed. It wasn't until you came out into the illusory world and recognized yourself as something that needed to do anything. You're going back to your child consciousness, as is constantly spoken about. The child consciousness, which was aware and in awe, and didn't have problems of work or parents or anything, because it was just aware and in awe. And didn't know enough to be afraid. There wasn't enough of you to have fear as the child. The child then had all these things added on to it, right, and watched the body grow, so it truly believed that the same consciousness that was there when this body came about is not the same that it's here. That's the belief, because you've seen your body age and you believe that, well, I'm aging. But you are not aging. The body form that you are using, the blob of goo of the 5 elements, is aging and will eventually age all the way to deterioration. But the one that was in the womb, that came into the blob, as Nisargadatta Maharaj says, in dormant condition, not aware of itself, that then became aware of itself in the body goo, the form, and then that body just progresses. But you do not progress. You don't progress. You don't age. You're timeless because you're outside of time. There's no concept of time because you're prior to any of these ideas, beliefs, or concepts. You're in the no-knowing state.
Yeah, it's kind of the process of getting educated and civilized and so-called, and then having to come full circle and drop it all.
Yeah. And the main reason that was fear and survival, the element and the constant fear of death. Before you even knew what death was, the survival in this strange world that you were not aware, that you didn't know until you ran and bumped your head on the wall that there was any danger at all in this world. And once you discovered there was danger, you needed to acquire knowledge quickly in a fear-based state, so you didn't ask or inquire about anything that was going on. You assumed that this body was yourself and that everything it did were your doings, and that all that was happening was your experience. And you perceived the world through the little me, and were terrified because through the little me, the functioning of the totality seems like it's all against the little me, because in reality, the little me is part of a functioning and was never meant to be an individual. You know, when you view an ecosystem from the point of view of one of the elements in the ecosystem, you would seemingly say that things are against you. But when you view it as the entire ecosystem is in absolute perfect balance, if there's too many fish, that's not good. If there's too much seaweed, that's not good. If the water's not running properly because there's too many leaves or it's getting blocked, that's not good. But if you're a leaf or a fish or the seaweed, you might complain.
Yeah.